Hi everybody, I am Lady Stars and Fire, and this is the Rune Cast within the weekly healing messages for May 3rd through the 8th. Now it's coming in a little bit late this week because I did the healing messages. It was going to be a longer video, and I did it just with the astrology and what Spirit had to guide us through along with that astrology at first. Now, I'm coming in with the Rune Cast now, asking specifically for them to help guide us through the rest of this week. But before I came in and got everything all set up to do the Rune Cast and to give you this information, Spirit did give me a little bit of information to give to you. I am being told, first off, that psychic energy will be uplifting throughout the rest of this week. Whether it's intuitive energy, whether it is with your dreams, your visions, psychic energy of some form, maybe uplifting. You might be finding those vibrations lifting and changing in some senses because of that uplifting energy. I'm also being told to realize you're having a lot of indigo colored energy. And I'm not going to go over what each color means because for some of us, that means different things, and I'm not going to reinterpret what they have told me. I'm just being told, yeah, I'm getting that beautiful indigo color right now. Again, so they're redoubling up, saying that one may be more than the rest of them. But I am also getting the yellow energy that is coming in, as well as purple energy is coming in this week. But definitely that indigo color energy, which often has a lot to do with courage, but it has many other aspects, and that's why I'm not going to go over it, because for some people, when we look at the colors, they mean this or that, and for some people it means all of the different things that it does. So I'm going to let you interpret that however it is that's best for you to interpret it. And then I'm also given Juno, not to jump back to astrology, but I'm given Juno as the symbol, as a symbol that they're giving to me to pass on. And Juno technically speaks of, I'm also seeing like mountains for some reason. So it may be overcoming the mountain. It may be going up the mountain. I don't know. I just know I'm being given mountains, it looks like to me as well. But going back to Juno, Juno speaks to us of putting forth that commitment. Juno speaks to us of putting the commitment in it to move forward within that relationship, of whatever that relationship is. Maybe it's a working in a relationship. Maybe it's family relationships. Maybe it has to do with your partner and loved ones, friends. I don't know. But it's speaking to us of putting that commitment into it. Juno speaks to us of like the long haul in like a marriage situation. So in a long partnering, it's putting that commitment in and realizing the sacrifices that are needed for that commitment to work. Now, with all of that being said from what Spirit is giving me, I'm going to move on to the Rune Cast. And we start off this week with Kinez. Oh, before I go any further, we actually have 2 readings for the Rune Cast this week. One is the one I'm about to give you, starting with Kinez. And this would be more like the healing messages that will help you move forward. That's why there's 2 messages. One is giving you the direct 2 runes that will help you understand what you need to do to move forward. However, the other one is more of a background to help you understand this is what's going on, and how understanding these things that are going on will help the first Rune Cast to move forward, if you understand what I'm saying. Starting again with Kinez. Kinez is coming in Howlite. Howlite for me is awareness. Plain and simple. It's calming in energy, but it's also an awareness, and I'm getting that indigo blue again. So they really want you to hear the indigo blue this week. Kinez is torch, craft, cunning, fire. It is manifestation. It is our character. It is our personality. It is craft itself. What is it that you craft? What is it that is your craft? Whether it's, spiritually related, whether it is magically related, maybe it's, that you're a painter or a magician. I don't know what your craft is. They're speaking of you crafting and manifesting through it. It points to us of matters of our creativity and our craft in general, and the natural ability to do so through our skills and our efforts. So obviously it's having the effort, that commitment, that sacrifice to actually make that come through. But Kinez also always speaks to us of balance or imbalance. And this is because if we're out of balance, our creativity doesn't flow quite as well. And this means it's speaking to us of our four. I say this all the time. Our emotional, our mental, our spiritual, and our physical. If one of those are out of whack, then baby, you are out of whack. And it's easy to get out of whack. I'm sorry, it is. That's four big things. Emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical. If you're out of whack, you're out of whack. And then you can't be as creative as you would be. This means we need to have our sleep. We need to have our work time. We need to have our playtime. And we need to eat and have a diet that's well. Basically. And you need to be taking care of these things. Because if you're a workaholic and you have no time for play, eventually your creativity goes downhill. Same thing. You got to make sure that all levels are balanced, or you're out of balance. This is what they're talking about. Your creativity needs to be at a good balance. You need to work at that. Nurture yourself. Pamper yourself if you need to, babe. Okay, now, I always go over what the interpretations are when I do the runes, and I do that because this interpretation may be exactly what that person needed to hear, and that interpretation may be exactly what that person needed to hear. So I give you the interpretations so that you can break it down and figure out what it is that fits your life. Now, Kinez speaks to us of that principle of ignition. Starting, it's the start button, it's the go. It's the creativity of that start button. It is creativity expressed in form. It can control us through our inspiration, our knowledge, and our capabilities. It is the shaping and that reshaping of the present. But Kinez also is a fire element. So it also speaks to us of that creativity with our children. Because our children are of our heart. They are our fire. They are of us. So it may speak to you of creativity dealing with your children in general. Or, because it's a fire element, it could be dealing with passion. And then it can also be dealing with sexual practices, sexual situations in general. Now, on to the next one for this week. It is coming in truth and honesty for you, as well as psychic energy, psychic protective energy, because this is Amazonite, and this is Pethro. Pethro comes to us. It is the apple. It is the cup. It is the chess piece. It is birth. It is water. It is one's destiny. It is determining of our future. Pethro speaks to us of the need to take the change, the need to take the risk, the need of doing some form of overindulgence in some form of behavior, more or less. It speaks to us of social enjoyment. There would be your balance too. Entertainment, but it also speaks to us of new birth, new ventures into the unknown. It speaks to us of the rules of the rune cast, of its magical and interpretations in general. It speaks to us of the women's mysteries. It points to the presence of entertainers or exotic practitioners. No, sorry. It points to the entertainers and practitioners within entertaining. Sorry, I misread that. But its interpretations itself are the principle of the unknown and of childbirthing. Childbirthing could be childbirth, but it could be of birthing of a new thing. So that is your new baby, the new birthing of something. It speaks to us with those interpretations of the new, of the wisdom and of taking risks within a new situation. It also speaks of changing arms, fellowship of social enjoyment, laughter, and gambling, creating karma, creating fate, testing fate, tempting fate. One creates, I can't seem to talk today. One creates one's own fortune. Plain and simple. One creates one's own fortune. It is the bonding of psyche and soma. Also, it is our evolutionary growth. It is the revelation of secrets and mysteries. It is that unmanifested power weaving itself into pattern. So it goes with Kinez, into that start button, into that creative energy, into that taking risk. But it also speaks to us of that balance of entertainment in general, as well as learning of creating your own fortune, creating your own life, tempting fate. If you're afraid to go after it, well, you'll never get it, right? I mean, it's kind of what they're saying. But I'll let you figure out what it means for you. Now, as we go into the second part of this reading, this is what I'm saying is, those were the energies they're telling you to go with for this week. But understand this as you're doing that, because this is the underlining conversation coming from them. And this one threw itself at me 3 times, so it definitely wants to be heard this week. It is on Seuss, and it's coming in grounding energies because it's a muggle stone. It's also your empath stone. It's also separating of energy, grounding, and it's good with the earth in general. Onsus is the god, the mouth, Odin. It is in the air. It points to us of communication, of education, of growth through knowledge. This has to do with also our creativity as well. You got to learn and able to create. It speaks to us of, it can transform us through our inspiration, but it can also confuse us if we let other people's thinking dominate our lives. It speaks to us of the presence of the wise and intellectual or gifted person maybe also entering that life, entering your life. But its interpretations are communications, signals, inspiration, enthusiasm, true vision, communication of divine breath, access to the source. What you breathe is the source. You're breathing in that air that comes from the source. It's the breath of all things. It's the essence of all things. It is the interpretation, inspiration, song, poetry, magical incantation, and the power of words themselves. It speaks to us also of transformation through the Word of God. Education, learning, intellectual achievements, dexterity with words or speech, and verbal communication. Remember, it is also the intellectual gift, and it is also the exchange of views themselves. Then I am given, I gotta flip through my book here, Jebo. And Jebo is blinking. And when I say blinking, I mean literally it's like slightly moving and catching my attention so that I won't miss it. And that when I get a blinker, as I put it, my blinking ones that really are trying to call attention to me are basically, they're usually very important. They're very high vibration by the time I get to them because they're jumping out of their own energy and showing me through an aura, in a sense. We've got Jebo, and it is coming in unconditional love. It is Rhodonite. It is unconditional love, love of self, love of others in general. Jebo reminds us the gift, the gifting price, the exchange, and the fire. It is the focus of hospitality and generosity. It's of things given and of things received. It reminds us that someone who It may show a situation where someone feels they are controlled or kept hostage in a situation. And the only reason they would feel that they are kept hostage or controlled in this situation is because they are not getting the whole give and take of Jebo. They are not coming clean with themselves in some way. They are not being honest and true to them. This is why they are still feeling that hostage situation. That's a deeper situation that you've got to work through. Otherwise, it is revealing of someone's special gift or magical exchange. It shows us a symbol of something where something has been given and it must be given back. Where something has been received as well as we give of our own will. It is the return of energy. It is that never-ending flow of give and take. It speaks to us of sacrifice within that generosity. It speaks to us of the idea of marrying, not marriage, marrying, the partnering of it, the give and take, that commitment. Again, it is the gift, the gifting price. It is receiving something that is unasked for. It is the gift and its obligations. It is hospitality or it's the hostage. That's what I'm saying by not getting it. Hospitality or the hostage. If you're the hostage, there's something you're not doing and not being honest with yourself, and that's why you're feeling it. Something you're not moving forward when you could feel it in your soul that you need to be changing it. That's causing that imbalance. It also speaks to us of taken and given, shared energy, or serene ecstasy, because it too is a fire element, which means it can also deal with sexual magic, the sexual exchange. It also speaks to us of sacrifice and agreements, the honoring of contracts, like marrying. It also is, it is of one's given word, standing by and following through with what one says, your given word. It is receiving graciously, but at the end of the day, at the end of the situation, at the end of our life, Jebo reminds us, life itself is a gift. Accept it graciously, period, and be thankful for it. Now, lastly, but definitely not least, and it was also blinking as I put it, we have Birkenau, but I'm trying to find it in my book so that I don't miss any of its interpretations. I never do it without the book because, like I say, I go over all those different interpretations, and the minute that I start doing it without the book, I will be missing interpretations that it might very well be what you needed to hear. So I don't do it without the book. We're also talking about it in Rhodonite. Again, so it is of unconditional love for yourself, love of others as well. Birkenau is the birch tree. It is fertility. It is beginnings. It is earth. It is the world of the tree and the plant and the forest. It points to us of women, of women's issues, of female mysteries. It is new beginnings from within and fertility, cleansing outwardly. It is new beginnings being brought to us with fertility as well as cleansing outwardly, basically. It is the magic of the goddess herself. The magic of the goddess herself at work. Birkenau indicates the presence of powerful women as well, or the need maybe to contact one. But Birkenau reminds us as we move forward, as we start these new beginnings, as we come into these new starts, we must remember we move slowly through what it is we are learning, and we also grow slowly that way. We move slowly through what it is we are learning, and we grow slowly that way. It's not going to happen like this, is what Birkenau is saying. We learn and we evolve slowly. Don't put yourself on that task of believing you're going to get it like that, is what they're saying. Birkenau is the promise of the new beginning and of the renewal. However, you're still working through that, is what we're being told. It is the principle of fertility, new life, release, flowing, a period of gestation. It is preparation for the new starts, for the new beginnings, based off of our old patterns. Growth through carrying that intuition and rebirthing into that hero. Rebirthing yourself into the hero from what it is you've already learned, from the old, from the past. The goddess made manifested. It is speaking to us of exorcism, releasing what is no longer germane and good for you in your life, letting go of that crap, no longer having a part of your life. But it is also the magical craft through, it is your magical craft through the rebirth into your personal power. And it speaks to us of that very shape shifting, the magical appearance itself, power of illusion, shamanic practice, as well as sexual freedom, mysteries of the great mother and women's magic. It is rites of passage for rebirth and women's power. Sorry, I had a bug fly by me. And women's power. So it is all of that uplifting. But not like that. It's something we're learning. We're going through it as we enter through Burkina. I love you, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And I will be back next week with the Rune Cast and the astrology, even though they may still be two different videos. Hugs and kisses in the wind, and I love you. Have a wonderful week. Bye.